Hi, I'm Laura Lewis, and I'm here today with the CEO of CoffeeTec, Mr. Scott Plail. Now, CoffeeTec is known as the world's largest global distributor of coffee roasters and coffee roasting equipment. And also they're known as the Amazon of the coffee roasting world. So thanks a lot for being here, Scott.
Hey, Laura, thanks for having me. I'm really enjoying it.
Well, you know, this is an interesting topic to me. I mean, CoffeeTec, coffee's big, it's global. I mean, we know coffee's been around for
Thousands.
many centuries.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about what CoffeeTec is.
CoffeeTec is really it's a one-stop source for anything you need in the coffee industry. We have everything from new roasting equipment to used roasting equipment. We do consulting, we build plants, we locate roasters, we relocate roasting plants. Just last year, we relocated a huge roasting plant from London, England, down to El Salvador. So pretty much there's really not anything that CoffeeTec doesn't do. We're here to help our customers, our clients, and more importantly, I think, to help the coffee community. We want to contribute to the coffee community.
So your customers, you mentioned your customers. Who are your customers?
It's an interesting question because you wouldn't believe it, but they go all the way from small individual roasteries that are just getting started all the way up to Starbucks. Starbucks buys products from us. So it's because I guess that we make it so convenient and easy for people to find things that otherwise would take them a great deal of time to try to search out. And instead, it's all right there just waiting to be ordered.
You know, I did peek around your website and I saw that you have something called CT Connect. And what I got from that was that you provided information for buyers and sellers, as well as consulting and education, which I think that really makes you unique. Isn't that right?
Well, there actually is no one else in the world on planet Earth that's doing what we do. And yes, and so we can find people the proper equipment that they're looking for, whether it be new equipment or used equipment, or else a whole amalgamation of equipment. Like, for example, Papua New Guinea and the government of Papua New Guinea came to us to fulfill a huge order to develop their coffee business in Papua New Guinea, and they chose CoffeeTec to fulfill that entire order, and there was had to be at least 50 to 60 items in that order, and we got it all compiled, consolidated, and shipped out effectively to them, and they were very happy with their service.
So I understand. I'm going to back up just a little bit. I know CoffeeTec's been around for 47 years plus.
Correct.
I know you haven't been running it that long.
No.
I mean, when did you take over CoffeeTec?
Well, I've been in coffee for about 30 years, so I've been passionate about coffee, and I tried to escape one time, and it just sucked me right back in. But there was a great platform. CoffeeTec has been around 47 years, and in November of 2017, we evaluated it and believed that this was a great platform for the coffee community. And so we made an acquisition of it, and we have been working diligently, very diligently, to build CoffeeTec into what it can be and what it will be in the future, including the development of new top secret technologies that we're working on currently.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
Sounds like 21st century stuff. Taking coffee in the 21st century.
Kind of like that, or beyond,
or more,
even.
beyond.
Right.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, you're Elon Musk of coffee.
Kind of little like that. That's where we're at.
That's pretty neat.
Sure, yeah,
I love that.
It's exciting.
So, all right, talking about CoffeeTec and the services that you provide. So let me get this straight. So you have smaller roasteries that
Correct.
are just starting out. Those people have a choice with the smaller roasteries. If let's say I'm going to go open a roastery, and I could either go buy a book, which people rarely do because they're outdated by the time they come out anyways. I could go on Google. They could go out on Google, right?
All right.
They could seek out a consultant, which might cost them some big bucks.
Serious money.
Right? Yep. Or what we could do is I could come to you and I could source my equipment from you. If you don't have it, you guys could find it, I understand.
Correct.
Or you might have it in stock. And then you're going to help me set up my roastery just by the kind of equipment I might want to buy. You might advise me. Is that what would happen?
Absolutely. And that's one of the big things that we do is we advise our clients. They tell us about their business. They tell us about their business goals, where they want to go, what they want to achieve. And then it's our responsibility to try to help them to get the right equipment that they can grow their roastery with. And I think one of the most important things, Laura, that maybe a lot of people don't talk about is there's a few other places out there where you could go buy some coffee equipment or equipment that you might need. But the thing is that most of those places, and I won't mention any names, they don't follow up and they don't provide any type of service or any type of warranties or anything like that. And so a lot of times we'll get customers to say, well, I bought this. Well, where'd you buy it? I bought it, blah, blah, blah. Well, we still try to help them, but when you buy through CoffeeTec, we stand behind what you buy, and we're there to try to help and make sure things are right. I had my electrical engineer flew all the way from California to New York just to fix a piece of equipment that one of our clients received from one of our vendors, and it wasn't working right. And we immediately went out and flew out and fixed this thing within a matter of a couple of days. There's not a lot of companies out there that believe in customer service like CoffeeTec does. Customer service is king. It's it. That's all about.
Well, that speaks a lot because you're the center of that. You're the impetus of that, I believe, because I know that it's really important for you, even personally and professionally, that you want to make sure people are taken care of. Is that right?
Absolutely. We're very interested in the entire coffee community as a whole, not only our individual clients, but some of that spills over into Origin. I've been in coffee for 30 years, I mentioned earlier, and I was in Origin in the early days, back in like the early 90s, and I have to tell you that the love that I felt from the indigenous people and the experiences that I had there, it left just an indelible impression upon me that that's really our focus and our drive. It's taking these companies and using these companies and the resources that we can develop and investing those into the coffee community. Not only the coffee farmers, but especially the indigenous people, because there's hundreds of millions of indigenous people that work in the industry that harvest the coffee. And without them, there would be no green coffee. The coffee market would be just implode. It would be destroyed. So our main goal is to try to take those funds, invest them where they can truly be invested, where a lot of other organizations try to say that, oh yeah, we're all about the coffee farmers, blah, 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 but they're not. And so we want to make an impact for people. We want to change people's lives. We want to make villages that are growing coffee sustainable, and we want to bring fresh water supplies and et cetera. And so we have folks that can come in and reorganize these communities to be sustainable and productive communities.
That's amazing. Makes me think about how CoffeeTec, beginning with you guys really are all about helping, helping people in those villages, making them sustainable, helping improve their lives, and as well as assisting in the entire chain of, well, as you say, I mean, it's from bean to cup, I guess, right?
Yeah. Bean to cup's great, seed to cup.
Yeah, a seed to cup, exactly. Now, you also mentioned about much larger roasters. Now, I'm not exactly an expert in the coffee roasting world. I have a great appreciation for what you do, but I understand some of these roasters are just gigantic and major things to move. Didn't you just get through with moving something very large, a very large coffee roaster from overseas to a giant client in the United States?
Yes, people don't know the nightmares that are involved in doing something like that. We located a large roaster, 240 kilo Pro-Bat roaster, which is one of the top of the lines. It's not their biggest roaster, but it's pretty huge. And putting it on the ship and then getting it dismantled and crated, boxing it up, going on the ship, and then coming across. And then, people don't realize, then you get to the port. I've got a CoffeeTec uses a group that has been in logistics for 40 years. We know logistics. We know how to move things around. And of course, if the ship gets delayed, it happens. people don't understand all these little intricacies that happen. Then they don't understand how long it takes to really properly install a roaster. And they're like, is it really going to be that long? Yeah, it's really going to be that long if you want it done right. Because we do things right. We don't cut corners. We make sure that we have the top of the line products and people in place to make sure that the installation went great. And it did. So we moved this roaster, and now through the success of moving that huge roaster from Italy over here to the United States, we've now got a request we're out searching for, and we've already found it in a few different locations, a huge roastery up in New Jersey that was interested in a 2-ton ProBat. That's a big boy. You're starting to get into some institutional type roasting. We do get into that. I think our sweet spot, our favorite, is with the medium to small, medium, and some of the large roasters. But we're moving quickly into large roasteries.
How did you get into coffee?
Oh, that's a coffee. That's a story we'd have to have a couple cocktails over and talk about. Actually, I was in C-level positions with Fortune 100 and 500 companies, and just got tired of living on airplanes. And one thing led to another, and I represented a little coffee line and pioneered it into the Western United States. And they started playing some games and doing things that were not within integrity. And I said, I can do this, and I can do it better. And so we created a company called Black Mountain Gold Coffee. We were in 6,500 outlets across the U.S. and Canada. And I think it's important for anybody that's watching this to know that it started in my garage. And that caused problems in itself, big trailer trucks pulling up to my garage. And then we moved to a little self-storage phase and went on. And I think the biggest thing that I'd like, it's not about that I built this coffee company, it's that I believe that anybody can build what they want to build. If any of the folks out there that are working on small roasteries or they want to have a national coffee brand, they can do that. I'm not special in that area. I just worked hard and was able to accomplish it, and it brought me a lot of joy being in the coffee industry. It's a small community. It's a big industry, second largest industry in the world next to crude oil, but very tight community. Everybody knows everybody and cares about people. So,
speaking of caring about people, because you know so much about the industry, and you had mentioned earlier, you can walk into a roastery and see someone using a ladder when they could be using some other type of equipment. I would imagine you can go into any type of roastery, scan it, right, and figure out what would be best for them to make it more efficient.
Right.
And when you make something more efficient, aren't you helping them lower their stress, improve their cash flow? You know, what are some of the benefits of having CoffeeTec and having you or someone with CoffeeTec be able to help somebody like that? If you can't be there personally, at least there is some sort of interaction to do an evaluation. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I'm still old school in the way that I believe in face-to-face interaction. And it's amazing, all the roasteries that I do go in, because I go in an awful lot all over the world. And I always find two things very prevalent. One is that they always have old equipment that they're not using that they could be selling and making money on. And then they always say, well, I need this and I need that and I need this. And then, so that's the equipment side of the business, that you can see what they have and what they need. But then there's a bigger part to it. You can look at their overall operation and go, like It Kills Me, for example, you brought it up. I can't stand going into a little roastery and watching their employees or the owner of that roastery carrying a 25-pound bucket of green beans up to the top of the roaster and dumping it into the hopper. Because as you and I know, ladders are very dangerous, and it concerns me, and I don't want anybody getting hurt. But I think even more than that, we can see ways to fix that. We have the solutions to fix that, but we also have other solutions to optimize the plants, to make them very successful, to make them operate very smoothly, to increase their profitability, increase the safety for their employees, and overall to to drive revenues and increase their profits. So we have the solutions, and we are now starting to embark on direct contact. We've hired our first specialist that's operating in the western part of the United States, where we have initiatives to add 4 more specialists across the U.S. We have a specialist already based in Europe, in the European marketplace. And so we have plans to expand globally in the world to meet directly face-to-face with our clients, because that's the way we like to do business.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm really impressed with what CoffeeTec is.
Thanks.
I'm really impressed with the idea that you really want to handhold, take people when they need, whatever they need, you're going to be able to provide that to them. And I understand that if you can't provide that for them, that you might even give them some resources on how to fulfill a need that you might even not even have. Is that right?
Yeah, well, 30 years in the industry. I hate to keep going back to that, but it's a long time. And over those years, I've always been driven by relationships. So all my selling or business dealings, it's always relationship driven. And I think when you have that type of philosophy in your business life, then you establish relationships with people. And our network of the very, very best people in the entire coffee industry, a lot of them are friends of mine. And a lot of them are people that we know just from doing so much business out there. And we can pool and bring in those resources and pick and choose who's going to be best to come in and help us with this facility or this layout or this particular, like the chaff collection system. I mean, a 240 kilo roaster puts out a lot of chaff, and chaff can ignite very quickly into fires. And I had a good friend of mine from Germany, Johann Eckberg, that helped me to develop a chaff system for maintaining chaff and getting rid of the byproduct there. So we have the people in place to come in and develop not only equipment side of the business, but then Willem Boots, a very dear friend of mine and one of the best, he's very strong in agriculture now, but he's one of the best cuppers and coffee experts in the world. And so we have these resources to bring to our customers and our clients to help them in ways that maybe they couldn't do on their own. That's what we're all about.
So I know you have a program you call CT Connect, and there's 4 quadrants that you're addressing: buyers and sellers and education and consulting. And part of that, I know that you developed that from what I read, what I understand, is to present an option to people that are out there trying to do it themselves. So what would be the difference if someone's trying to do it themselves or do it with a CT Connect via CoffeeTec?
You know, honestly, you can do it the hard way and you can get yourself into a whole bunch of trouble, or you can do it the easy way, which is the CoffeeTec way, and you can let us handle everything for you. Because I think that what's really important with and why we set up CT Connect is because you have a business that you're starting or that you're running, and you don't have the time, or shouldn't have the time, to be able to go out and try to source all this out and answer 100 emails and 25 or 30 phone calls and then start to get into haggling with people about things. You should be really focused on your business. Let us be your arm. Let us be the ones that can help you to find out. You can come to us and say, this is what I want to go. These are my goals and ambitions. Okay, what are you roasting on currently? We'll find you the roaster that's perfect for you. We'll find you the additional equipment that you need to optimize your plant and to make it productive. Whether you're a small guy or a big guy, you've got to still, production's production, and you've got to have the right equipment to make your plant flow and operate smoothly, efficiently, safely, and most of all, profitably. Because it's fun to be in the coffee business, but if you're not making profits and you're not generating revenues, you won't be in business very long. And so we're here to help you to grow your business, to be in business, and to be successful.
I love it. Thanks so much for talking with me today, Scott. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Laura. I really appreciate your time and giving up a busy schedule that you have as well. Thank you.
And thanks for watching.